Welcome to HANA Café the Netherlands. And today is a special episode, because today we have some Belgian colleagues visiting our experience center here in the Netherlands. And I'd like to introduce them to you. We have at the table in our cafe, we have Goedele Derveaux. She's the experience center lead for Belgium. We have Oliver Buyssens, technology advisor on SAP BTP Business Technology Platform. And happy to have also welcome Kenneth, global head of SAP BTP pre-sales. And we can ask him later what that means. Welkom to HANA Café de Netherlands.
HANA Café Nederland is een podcast met nieuws vanuit de SAP-wereld. In het café spreken de gasten en stamgasten over ontwikkelingen, innovaties, events of praten ze gewoon weer eventjes bij. Laten we snel naar binnen gaan.
Now let's start with the first question. I see Goedele is on the table and she's experience center lead in Belgium. That looks like my position in the Netherlands.
Looks like your position, but yes, we have a fantastic experience center in Brussels. Actually, not so big as yours, but we have this immersive room, an experience room. And what we do there is bringing our customers on a journey so that they really understand how they can transform their business in these times to become the intelligent enterprise. And interesting, because I really like to be at the table today, is that the Business Technology Platform plays a very important role in that business transformation. And I guess that my two colleagues here, Kenneth and Oliver, they can tell a lot about that. So
that's also quite often the topic in our cafe. We talk a lot about the technology platform, Jan?
Yeah. Hashtag SAP BTP behind you.
Because I forgot to introduce you in the beginning as stamgast.
I'm kind of used to that.
Yeah, sorry, but Jan, welcome.
Is my microphone even still on?
Maybe you also cut off the image. But
awesome.
Welcome,
I
Jan.
already was asking another person at the table, so.
Yeah, another person. You want more person at the table.
A guest.
Yeah, okay. Co-host. Yeah. So we talk a lot about technology. We talk about ABAP. We talk about NetWeaver.
NetWeaver.
A long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
Cloud platform.
My roots.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember a long time ago you were always presenting.
Yeah.
NetWeaver.
Yeah.
I've been
The
talking
fridge.
about NetWeaver. I think last week when I was explaining a little bit of a history lesson to one of my customers, and I started off with NetWeaver becoming the SAP NetWeaver platform.
Mm-hmm.
NetWeaver Cloud Platform.
NetWeaver Cloud Platform.
Yeah.
It's the NetWeaver Cloud. BTP is the NetWeaver Cloud Platform, basically. To keep it simple.
Yeah.
So, but Kenneth, I think you can explain that. What is that now? That business technology platform.
I think actually it's funny that you're saying that, because I think 3 years ago it was like, we had a lot of questions about what is that thing, BTP. It was a new branding that is, actually the roof for multiple products at the end of the day, and I think it became much more clear for our customers, for partners, even for employees at SAP. That's thanks to the adoption in the market. And by the way, BTP is the second fastest growing cloud business at SAP. So quite a significant adoption by customers, also onboarding of partners for the last few years. And the first thing, because as I said, it's a lot of different things, but the first thing is that it's the backbone of the intelligent enterprise. It's the foundational layer of the intelligent suite. So making sure that we have consistency across our different applications when it comes to data, processes, but also to a certain extent user experience, because we have things like the work zone, like the launchpad, and that are also part of BTP. And I think if we really want to provide our customers with end-to-end integrated processes, you can't do that without BTP, right?
Without technology, without the platform that facilitates that. Yeah, I think the focus has shifted in the past years. So a few years ago with Cloud Platform, we focus on all the innovation parts that you could do with the platform. But now it's more the focus on the intelligent enterprise and how you can become the sustainable intelligent enterprise yourself.
Absolutely.
Using the BTP platform.
Talking about sustainability, Sustainability Control Tower, for example, which is really the radar on everything that relates to your emissions, for example, and is completely based on BTP. So it's a combination of different BTP capabilities. But first, coming back to the foundational role of BTP, I think we talk a lot about RISE, about the move to suite for HANA, right? And the move to the cloud, whether it's private cloud or public cloud. I think also there BTP is fundamental to success because BTP will help customers preparing the move to the cloud, making sure that when you move to a new apartment, you better throw away all the stuff you're not using anymore before you move. You don't do that after moving, right? And I think and of course it depends from customer to customer from different situations, but I think that the move to S4 with RISE is actually the opportunity to go back to a clean core. I think that's really
keep the
fundamental.
core clean.
Keep the core clean. And when it comes to that, well, BTP can help prior to the move, during the move, but also after the move to keep it optimized, to also extend the clean core with differentiators, with innovation, and I think and we'll come back probably to other capabilities of BTP, but I think this is really the fundamental role of BTP within our portfolio.
To keep the core clean does not mean that you have to stick to the standards. You can have your standard functionality, but you can extend that with BTP.
With BTP instead of, and that gives you the possibility to adopt innovation at a faster pace because you kept your core clean, and then you can, of course, have in public cloud scenarios overnight, you get new capabilities, new features in the system. In private cloud, it's more under the control of our customers, but still, it's much easier to adopt and faster to adopt innovation if you have a core clean. A clean core. Sorry.
And we have a nice use case and customer case in Belgium actually explaining a customer who has really been adopting the BTP as an innovation platform, also going to S4 but also extending it with innovations. And Oliver, I think you have been meeting that customer several times in our experience center.
I've been
it's
working
Faris,
there for a long time also,
yes.
so I know the customer very well.
Okay. So what did they do exactly?
Well, what they did is actually, first of all, the first step was actually moving to S4. As the core, that's the first thing. Then they put a CX solution behind it.
Where did they come from?
They came from ECC. It's a utilities company, so we're talking about ISU. And they're really SAP first customer, so it's really nice to see this. And then now we go into the new digital age, so for them it's also implementing smart water platform, smart meters. Everybody at home nowadays almost has one or should get one in the near future, but that generates enormous amount of data. You have monitoring, and what do you do with all this data? I've done similar projects in the past. That was always an issue. Connectivity, what do you do with the data? Where do you store it? Yeah, an on-prem system is getting quite expensive. So now we have the cloud. It's connectable from everywhere, and we have the smart energy platform. The cloud for energy, as we call it. So they use it, it collects the data, it monitors all the meters if something goes wrong. So it's quite nice. And all the extensions are then also done on the BTP.
And Cloud for Energy is a product from SAP?
It's a product from SAP, it runs in the cloud on the BTP
industry
platform.
Cloud?
It's
industry cloud?
Yes. Very
On
nice.
Powered
BTP.
by BTP as well.
Powered by BTP,
So it sounds like they're running from the cloud only at the moment. So is that possible for a utilities company already?
Let's say the S4 is still on-prem. The CX is of course in the clouds, and the cloud for Energy is of course native cloud solution.
Cool.
Yeah, quite nice. They have very nice use cases. Not only that one, they have plenty of them. They also have SAC reporting. They have
the data part is also interesting, because if you look at maybe 10 years ago, everyone wanted to have a data lake. Just collect all the data that we have and put it in the lake. And then I always asked, why? Because then we have all the data in the data lake. Why?
What do you do with
Why?
it?
It was really complex question to answer because nobody knew exactly, but we have to collect all the data. But nowadays, it's not about collecting the data, it's about getting the insight of the data.
And the model, which model is behind.
And
is it also for your customer?
Well, of course, they have structured data, of course, because it immediately comes into our solutions and it's a structured way. It's not like a data lake where you have unstructured data. They know what it's about. So
But was it one of their transformation points that as we have a lot of data, now we want to predict the future, or now we don't want to have predictive maintenance or something?
It's for the consumption in the future. How much do I need to produce? What will be consumed? And it's not only about smart meters. There's one thing is the smart meters for the consumption, but you also have the, let's say the full lines of water provisioning. It's also a full network of pipings, valves, pumps. So just to meet the consumption level that you predict. So it also needs to be monitored and managed, because sometimes you have maintenance on certain pipes, so they go out, you can't use, so you need to bypass the water by another way. So you need to control all of that. How much, where's the flow through all the piping?
Yeah.
So that's sure to be sure that at a certain point we provision enough water.
Okay.
So it's a complex.
And what's
Given.
what's the role of the Business Technology Platform in that whole scheme of things?
Well, there's actually gathering. Well, first is the basis. It's the basis for the Cloud for Energy platform. Secondly, they also want to monitor and report on that, so they have the SAC on top of that. Yeah, that's where the business case is.
Integration,
Integration, of course, yeah.
And did they also
But the
do
Cloud for Energy has the integration component in there. So, yeah.
Okay.
And did they also extend the core using BTP?
Yes. So,
So they created some custom applications.
yeah, typically in Fiori.
Yeah.
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 And then all the interfacing is also done via the CPI integration suite. And so, yeah.
Looks like a big project.
It's a very nice project. There are many reference cases. As I told you, you can keep on telling about this customer because there's so many individual cases.
Yeah, but also
if
if you
take
go
the
way
full
back in time, so if
Yeah.
I'm also running around for more 20 plus years in the
Mhm.
SAP world. So 20 years ago, it was if you did an SAP project, yeah, it could take you 3 years, 5 years before
Mhm.
all the functionality was rolled out.
Mhm.
Now this big migration to the cloud and migration to S/4HANA, is there a sort of lead time that you can mention?
Oh, they already went to S4HANA before COVID, so I guess it's already it's not a project, it's a program,
It's a
which is
program.
ongoing
Yeah.
for
Program,
already
yeah.
3-4 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a huge one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were one of the first in Belgium to implement C4C, actually.
Okay.
And the good thing is that they have a roadmap. They always look into the future, looking really also really connected with our industry business unit, with the utilities industry business unit. Also the CIO, she is a big speaker or a great speaker on quite some events. But this connection, this co-innovation with SAP is going on very, very well. But as you say, we can talk about Faris for such a long
Faris,
time.
yes.
I think
Now
we have
we
other
named them
other
because-
cases.
Yeah, but
there are a lot of-
you
Yeah.
just touched up
Yeah.
the co-innovation. How does that work? How does this work?
Yeah, this is a whole program that we have, and now we have Faris as a customer in Belgium who did that with the people and the organization in Waldorf. It's a full setup. It's an organization. It's an approval that you need to have for that, and to make sure that you can build on these solutions.
But is it an innovation specifically for Varis, or is it an innovation that SAP tries to also get on the product list?
Yeah, that's. Things are moving also in that direction within SAP. I don't have the latest status on that, but in first instance, it's customer specific.
Yeah, so you have customer people and collaborating with SAP people from the innovation team.
Voilà, indeed.
Yeah, and
Indeed.
then build together an innovation also hopefully on top of BTP.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what I like about this customer, I said there's many reference cases there, but the nice thing is the BTP platform which is behind that is actually, it has so much content, so much services, so much tools in there.
It's the engine.
I have also developer in the before, so I know the ABAP and the introduction of the web application server and then the NetWeaver and then the portals. But that was always
Your
so
sentiment.
hard. So now we have this cloud solution. It's there, it's in the cloud, it's open, you can connect everything, you have plenty of tools.
It's like
And
playing with Lego.
it
Yeah.
is. And before it was also very hard to connect everything. Just building an interface was
Yeah.
that hell time.
Yeah.
Just a web page in the time. Remember?
That example,
That
that
was
customer
so
is
hard, and
indeed
now we-
leveraging all aspects of
Yeah.
many different capabilities of the platform.
Yeah.
So it might be confusing at the end of the day for customers. Okay, where do I start? That's why we also have a repository with use cases, with
Yep.
clear business outcomes
Yeah.
and a clear scope. And also for customers, but also for partners, accelerators, we call that Discovery Center missions. They're available online. And these are really accelerators. So you have the list of all potential use cases, whether it's more about data and analytics, right?
Yes.
So you can get
data
inspired. So a new customer or
well,
existing customer can get inspired.
to get inspired, yes, to a certain extent, but also, it's very tangible. I mean, it's not only about inspiration, it's really about, okay, what can I get? What are the different elements that I need to implement that specific use case? How much time will it take?
Yeah, it's not only that you have data, now you can do predictive, but it goes deeper.
It's,
Well, an important aspect there is also empowering. There is actually for specific cases is a kind of project approach.
Yeah.
If you want to implement this use case, do it this way, and it starts with setting the context. It gives you links to trainings
Accelerators.
that you can just do. Then it tells you technically in the system you do this, you did this, you did this, and then at the end you've just set up the business case.
And
It's actually more a use case, but it's quite interesting and it can give you.
And what is the target group for such deliverables? Because I think it's really useful. Is it that the customers go and do it
I've used it
themselves?
in the past. I've used it in the past, and it's in a couple of days you build something.
Yeah, but is it then? Do you aim for the customer with that, or is it aiming for a partner?
In both.
Yeah.
Both. I used it when I was a partner, but it was also a question from the customer.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to do this, and I say, where do I start?
Okay.
So I got
think
some
I need to
contact.
discover this Discovery Center myself because
sure.
I do
Yeah,
not
for
know it myself. So,
Yeah.
but is it public available? The
It
Discovery
is,
Center?
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Discovery Center, SAP Discovery Center, and there you can find
Lots.
dozens of of use cases with not for all of the use cases, but for many you also have what we call a mission, and the mission is really about estimating the effort, what is the methodology to implement that, and all the tools, as I said, to accelerate the adoption of that use case, of that scenario. If I may say.
And is it free available?
It's freely available, absolutely.
Okay. That's really interesting. Is the Discovery Center already used in the Netherlands, Jan?
Oh yeah.
Oh. It's just me,
Absolutely.
sorry.
As also within our pre-sales organization, by the way, when we try to make estimations for, at a certain point in time, you'll have to build your business plan, right? So at one side you have your income or your profits or whatsoever, or your cost savings or whatever, and at the same time you need to find out what the costs are of running that use case, right? To basically assess whether your business plan makes sense. And we now give, with the Discovery Center, also the possibility in the hands of our customers and partners to find out what the costs are, the running costs are of the services that we provide using the Business Technology Platform to basically materialize one of the use cases, so they can actually make their business case.
No.
Interesting.
But those examples there are real examples using the S/4HANA backend and using BTP technology possibilities, and then how you can combine it together, and what is the best practice.
And you're spot on, because it's not only about pure IT scenarios. I mean, if you think about LOB, what we call line of business BTP use cases, you have, I'll give you a few examples. It's workforce planning for HR, which is based on a capability of BTP, SAC planning, but in the context of HR. How do you actually adopt that? Your own pace, that's a typical use case for a line of business.
I think it also would be great to showcase those cases in the Experience Center.
Indeed, and I would like to say one thing on top of that is that it's always important to be able to map that use case to the business outcome that the customer is looking for. Because this is something that in the Experience Center I always do, is trying to find out first, and hope most of the time we have had intake calls before with the customer, with the C-level or the business people, and saying, hey, you're ahead of a transformation, but what is it that you want to realize? And I remember always an example that I have also my kind of business outcomes that are the typical ones that people are looking for: customer experience, happy employees, and so on. And I say happy employees, and I had the HR director in front of me, and he said to me, Goedele, yes, happy employees, but I want to be a self-learning organization. And there you can learn from, to see from, okay, what is it that this organization, this company is looking specifically for? And there, what I see is that also with, and not only with the line of businesses, but also with the Business Technology Platform, that this platform can help very well to drive within maybe a certain line of business, those business outcomes that customers are looking for. And
It would be great if the end users from the line of business at the customer side go to the Discovery Center and see what else is possible using S/4HANA and
Voilà.
BTP, and then get inspired and then ask you how to do that on the architecture way.
Yeah. But that's one way of looking at it. Another way is that we show the use cases to the customers. There are a lot of companies that want to go for innovation and digitalization, and then they have their ID, and something comes from the business, but it can also work the other way around. By showing the technology, the IDs pop up. And BTP is actually a platform that can do many things. If you see the examples that we have in our experience center, there sometimes they.
And you touched upon something which is really our customer experience. So and we see that our customers want to have a different way to experience our solutions, and the digital part, before they reach out to us, they would like to do some investigation, some discovery, touching the solution online. And that's really the Discovery Center is a good example. Maybe after the discovery, you already know the business outcome that you want to achieve, and you already have an idea of what you would like to adopt. But prior to that, it's really about, I want to touch the product, and we have now guided experiences, for example, for most BTP solutions available on SAP.com, or even, before
Guided experiences,
guided experiences.
So guided procedures in my mind.
I knew it. Guided procedures.
That's if you're
That's
also
NetWeaver.
long in the SAP world, then maybe you also have guided procedures, and you have the similar emotion as I have, which is not a good one.
I'm not sure. No, the guided experience is you go online, you just go on the SAP.com page for Data Warehouse Cloud or Process Automation or SAC, so SAP Analytics Cloud, and there you have a button, guided experience. You click on that, and you're accessing a live system, and you would be guided through a scenario, a predefined scenario, to really get a feeling, a first impression of, what does it look like? Next to that, you also have demo videos, you have click-throughs, you have different ways to experience our solutions online. So not having to reach out immediately to SAP to really, can we organize a demo? You're 3 weeks later, you can do that very, very quickly.
The self-learning organization.
What's the threshold for these kind of things? Do you need to be an IT pro in order to do those missions, or?
No, I mean for the missions in the Discovery Center, it's more like you must have a certain background, a certain experience. You must be acquainted with the solutions. But when it comes to really the guide experiences, I would say any user, depends on the topic. If you go for a HANA Cloud guided experience, of course you have to understand the basics of databases. But there is also a guided experience which is much more for a business audience, like enterprise planning, for example. And there it's, you see how you create a financial plan, an HR workforce planning or supply chain planning, and you have all that at your fingertips online.
And because I heard a lot about this low-code, no-code movement in the BTP as well. So is there anything already visible in terms of missions?
Not yet available, will come soon. So for AppGyver, typically we're currently building an online experience for AppGyver, so that casual developers or the whole low-code or no-code type of target group can also get a feeling of what does that mean. Is it really, can I really code without coding? So we really want to have something like that. This is the next one that will be released, I think, in the coming weeks.
How is the appetite for low-code, no-code in Belgium?
That's a difficult one. It's a mind changer.
Yeah.
You see, we see that customers are open to that. Oh, it's easy to program because we know, and if you have to wait for IT, there are resource issues. It always takes some time before something gets delivered. But when you even everything which is like self-service for the end users, or even let's say citizen users now, let's call them. When you talk to IT, then say, it looks nice, and then maybe not, and then you see that sometimes these tools go again to the IT department, but they're getting introduced, and it will take some time. But I think after a while, there will be some kind of super key users that will take that over and do, but they're still a
it's
bit
like also in your
conservative. You know,
field,
it's
well,
There's kind of a
very long
disruption.
time ago, we had SAP Query, which was also meant for the end users, so they could create their own queries using tables, but
Right.
that also took down the system. So
SQVI,
yeah,
and
if you
SQ01.
didn't know what you were doing,
Yeah.
I think using services is already helping you and supporting you to prevent that the system is going down if you create your own application together. But still, citizen developers, citizen users, you still need to know what you are doing.
Yes.
But then you are way faster to deliver something to the all
and
other
also,
users.
I mean, it's a response to what's going on in the market. I mean, there is a shortage of
Developers.
skilled
Yeah.
IT resources and developers in
Yeah.
particular.
Yeah.
So you need to shift that, and you know, you don't want to. If you're a business user, you don't want to be in the backlog, you know, and have to wait
don't want
for
to
I
wait.
don't know
Nope.
6 months, 8 months before your project
Yeah.
gets.
If you
know.
have a new business idea, you want to use it tomorrow because it's a great business idea.
And that where, to a certain extent, no code, low code tools can help,
Yeah.
and I think it perfectly makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And,
think
and,
that
and it's fast, delivery time is fast.
Yeah.
We use it also in our innovation lab. We are building now a nice gamification on a finance use case.
yeah.
So
And you do that
you're
with-
basically saying that the adoption should be by the IT organization as well. Instead of coding, they should
For
be doing
sure,
low
I-
coding
Yeah.
You work on an IT
to
environment.
work faster,
Yeah,
and
but
more efficient.
I think it's a bit the trust that lacks towards the business,
No, but
but it will come.
You
I'm
still
sure
need
it will come.
governance. You still need governance.
for
I mean,
sure.
it's not like you know. It's how was that called? Otherwise, you would create silos and inconsistencies. So I think governance has.
But I think that's exactly the role that the Business Technology Platform can play as well, because that's where you set up how you access your backend system, how you access your identity systems, how security is fixed, what applications are running where. Once those applications are running on the Business Technology Platform, you can be sure that they're monitored by a support organization and stuff. So I would say, like, give those
The
tools to
security,
build those
security,
Exactly.
important topic as well.
Yeah.
So if you remain on the platform, you know all the security aspects also
It's
are
covered,
consistent.
Yeah.
You don't have to redo everything all the time. So I think that's also in terms of savings and return on investment. I think these are.
So I think
Is
a
there
large
also
element.
already a reference case that you can bring to the table using low code, no code?
We had one with.
I
code, I think.
yeah.
In Belgium.
Yeah,
more
we
than
have one. We have a big distribution group and actually a retailer also from sanitary products, so bathrooms, this kind of area. They with the outbreak of the COVID, they were actually in need. They needed to have a very fast solution to track and trace the contacts between the employees at the office, because everybody had to come to the office, at least in the warehouse and so on. So they built with the low-code, no-code tool, and I think in one day they built already an app where everybody can use and say, okay, I was at the office between that hour, and I was in contact with this and this person. So if there should have been an issue afterwards, they could easily track and trace who was in contact with who, so they could alert the people, say, hey, we had an issue, and you have been in contact with that person, and so maybe stay at home, get a COVID test.
Built in one day.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
query.
What tool was that?
That time it was Mendix.
Mendix.
Yeah.
It's a Mendix
Mendix
customer.
also we have a lot of traction in the Netherlands, of course.
Yep.
It's
Of
a
course,
Dutch
it's a Dutch
company.
company.
Yeah, but I see there is also an official statement from SAP. So
Yeah.
it's a so important topic, low code, no code, that if as long as the
Yeah.
customer is using any kind of low code, no code platform, it's okay.
Yeah.
So it opens up to third-party suppliers as well.
Yeah.
And Mendix is one of our solution
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
experience partners, Solex, right?
Solex,
Yeah.
yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
For us the same. And I think they were quite new, I think, with Mendix. And that app really made the business case for low-code, no-code at that customer.
Yeah.
Because it was really proving it can do something.
Yeah.
So there was one application that developed in just one day. What happened with that customer? Did they onboard this low-code, no-code ship?
Yes, they did it. Yeah, and then now they're fully having many cases that they developed with Mendix.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
If you have
I'd
such
say
a good
it
experience.
made the business case for the customer. So that proved that they could do something with low code, no code.
And those Mendix applications running on the BTP as well, so to make
Yes.
sure that things like governance and security, identity, that sort of things are taken care of?
Well, I don't have a good view on that, but I suppose yes. Yeah.
Good.
For today we say yes.
Yes.
Yes, let's say yes. We assume it's a good customer. I know the guys. They're
Might be
doing great
listening,
jobs.
you know?
They will sure look at it.
No harm intended, no harm intended.
No. It's a really nice
But
case.
we have different cases,
different
low code,
cases.
no code. This was now related to employee experience because it gave a connection to the employees who needed to come to the office in the warehouse during COVID. It created this employee experience, this connection. But also we have customers related to asset management and asset maintenance who build applications in low code, no code was also Mendix. And different other use cases that we can name. So traction on the market in that low code,
you see them a lot in service management.
Yeah.
Service technicians who are on the roads, they have their iPhone or iPad, so they need to have a quick app to register damage or to register the work they've done. So these are like
Many
no-brainers.
use cases are, an extension with a mobile application, an extension of an application, so that you can really have the people in the field, with their mobile device, interacting real time with SAP applications, and that's quite fast. That's quite easy to create with those tools. I think that's where we see massive adoption in terms of
And how is the partner ecosystem in Belgium developing? Because things are changing. In the past, we developed something in the SAP system, in the ECC system. Now we're going to the cloud. We have BTP. How is the partner landscape adopting to that in Belgium?
There are different speeds, I would say. But it's one of the tasks that we also have is get in contact with the partners, enable them on BTP, tell them what BTP is about, check what they want to do. And we had a very nice case from a customer who explained their partner, that explained their strategy, where they said, okay, keep the core clean. What do we do with it? How do we tell that to the customer? And actually, they had a very nice approach where they said, okay, you can still do limited changes in your S4. Of course, the customizing. Then there are some things like documents you create in there, some small bodies and exits you can still do. And a second pillar, they call it pillars. And a second pillar for us is everything on BTP. So if you don't do it in the core, you do it on BTP. And only when we have very exotic services, then we go to the hyperscaler. And I think it's a very good approach, because then everything is still within the SAP environment. All the data is there, it doesn't go out, everything is well integrated, because BTP, how you turn it, we deliver all the content, all the integrations are there, so why would you rebuild everything on whatever platform that you choose? Of course, we don't have all the services. There are software vendors who have specific things, so either we integrate with that, or you can use or you consume these services on another cloud platform, for example. I think it's very nice, because I always say, what if a customer who has a nice environment changes from hyperscaler? What happens? I don't know, I've never seen it, but I'm sure it will come. So as long as everything is built, in the old days we would say everything is built on NetWeaver, and we move it, everything still works. It's the same. If you have your core with BTP, if you move your whole environment somewhere else, it's all SAP technology. It should still work.
What can we do, Kenneth, because in the cloud everything goes faster. We innovate faster, we have low-code, no-code platform to develop faster, but how can we take our customers on our journey to the cloud faster? How do we facilitate partners? How do we facilitate SAP colleagues?
Exactly, Twan, and I'd like to come back to the partners, because there is a lot of interest in the market, in the partner community, to really onboard and on BTP and to do more things. So similar to what I said before, the online experience, the digital experience, we offer a lot of possibilities to enable partners online through Partner Edge. We all know Partner Edge, which is accessible to all our partners. And there, our partners can find exactly the same assets, digital assets, as those that are available to SAP. And particularly 3 things. First, demo videos, so that they can, they can learn through those videos, but they can also share that with their own customers. Second, they have access to exactly the same demos as we do at SAP.
The demo store.
The demo store. And so That's available through Partner Edge. All the BTP, a selection, I'll be honest, a selection of BTP demos are available there. And great thing, it's the partner academies. So the technical academies, the experience academies, which are hands-on workshops that we run with customers. Well, they have access to all the academies available to SAP through the Partner Edge, so that they can not only enable their people, their consultants, through that platform, but they can also run an academy workshop on any capability of BTP with their own partners. So you have the handbooks, you have everything you need to do that. So I would dare to say there is no excuse not to get acquainted with, not to learn about BTP as a partner, and even I would say as a customer.
Yeah. No. It's a lot about self-learning, because the tools are available. And what we also have in the Netherlands, and because yesterday we recorded the video, October 21st, we have the Process Automation World Tour coming to the Netherlands. And then we invite our customers and our partners to have a day of hands-on experience in AppGyver and Process Automation and everything together. Is that also something that you do and facilitate in Belgium?
We can learn from what you are doing, I would say. Yes, that's something. Well, we see that's what Oliver also was saying. Enabling the partners, the continuous enablement on the partners, and is it for customers as well? What you say for customers as well? Yes, they like that to touch it, to see it. And we might discuss how we can do that. We have not put it in a plan yet, but I've seen it. I've seen the advertising on LinkedIn indeed that you're doing that.
Process automation is another good example of no code, low code, because as a business person, as a business profile, you can perfectly set up automate a process without any coding. And that's the power, I believe, of SPA, SAP Process Automation, is precisely, so this is part, and there is also embedded intelligence, so that it can help, it learns from, those processes that are being automated.
I think the promises that have been made somewhere 2007 with SAP BPM and Composite Application Framework, there were a lot of promises, and that's also where my experience with guided procedures comes from. But those promises are now finally made true.
It came together. Actually, we brought together different things: workflow, business process management, RPA, and really all that in process automation. That's why I believe it's a very promising solution that is evolving at a very fast pace. I mean, we invest heavily in the next iterations of the solution. So, this is where, if I may say, SAP has an unfair advantage. We know the process. I mean, and these are BTP capabilities that are so close to the process that I think our customers, our partners have certainly, should investigate the benefits, the outcomes, the business outcomes of those solutions.
As we grew because of process knowledge, and that's what we still have to innovate on those processes as well, and that's what we do with process automation.
I think low code, no code is also not a new thing, is it? I mean, if you look at it from the angle of composite application framework and guided procedures,
Visual Composer,
Visual Composer, it's just that now I think everything is coming together, not only in terms of process automation, but also if you look at, for instance, the mining tools that are in front of it, right? Signavio with its mining capabilities and basically advises on this is how you can improve the process because you're lagging behind your competitors, because we do benchmarking there, right? And then indicating like if you implement this bot, if you implement this SPA or RPA bot, then you'll be able to improve that process fundamentally. That kind of thing that is now coming together. It's the whole vision from end-to-end development and mining and finding out use cases and that sort of thing.
And finding the use case, I mean, this comes prior, of course, to automating the process. It's with, Signavio, for example, where our BPI platform, where you can really identify where you have areas of improvement. And then once you identify those areas of improvement, and coming back to RISE, this is typically what you would do in a RISE journey, in a S4 move journey, is looking at, using Signavio to identify all the potential areas of improvement, and then afterwards or during the move or even after the move, really going for the automation partial automation of those opportunities, basically.
And the fun thing is, that's also not something new. Because in ECC we had BSR, right? The
Yeah,
business scenario
true.
recommendation. And it also gave you an impression of what could be improved.
Yeah.
It's just that now everything comes together. It has links to the bot store. And then you can pick it up and turn it into your, move it into your automation tool and take it up from there and actually have that process improved in like a matter of minutes, rather than having to work on weeks, months, half a year.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
It even goes further. You have integration indeed to the automation, but you also have integration to, for example, Cloud ALM. And from Cloud ALM, you would say, okay, what are my requirements? Where do I have gaps?
One of
With
the
the processes?
biggest experts in Belgium about AL.
Yeah. Okay. That's an
No,
Cloud
true.
application
But
lifecycle management.
yeah, application lifecycle management. From there, you go to your change management. For change management, you go to the BTP with the requirements that you would develop on BTP, and then you can go with whatever tools and services that we have. So it all links together. And this week, actually, no, last week we did a session on testing and quality validation. And then we talked about the Tricentis solutions, which also plug in there. So it's actually one life cycle going from Signavio, change management, testing, monitoring, coming back round and
Optimization.
round,
Full
and
circle.
everything is
Cool.
integrated.
That's what you
And,
just explained. Yeah.
and it's also on everything on BTP.
Okay.
So that's
But you mentioned
Quite
integration,
nice.
and integration is actually low code, no code for years already as well. I mean, boxes, arrows, that kind of thing, right? That's it.
And
That's how you
didn't
build
change
integrations.
So for 50 years, is that SAP takes the responsibility of integration, where other vendors would outsource that to, to implementation partners, and you have to create the integration by yourself. I think this is fundamental in the SAP strategy.
Exactly. That's also the first thing that when Christian Klein was rising within the organization and was not CEO of the organization, but he said when he was appointed COO, the first thing he was on his list was to integrate SAP solutions.
But of course, that's normal because we did a lot of acquisitions before.
Not always a good integration job, let's be honest.
Well, and then
that's improved now.
because and we realized that point-to-point doesn't work. So it's about having that foundational platform, which is BTP, and now we're getting there finally, and it's
Okay.
Do you know that the BTP is actually there from the time that we made our first acquisition of SuccessFactors? The BTP was founded in 2012, which is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, it was founded.
It was not called BTP, but it was there. The components
Yeah,
were there.
NetWeave Cloud Platform.
Yeah.
It was founded on it was introduced at TechEd in 2012. And TechEd happens to be in October. It is now October 2022,
It's
which makes
it's 10 years.
It's an
10 years.
which
anniversary.
makes the
Anniversary.
NetWeaver.
Did you bring the cake?
No.
I would say the bubbles.
Maybe to ask our platform evangelist, Matthias. Oh no, he joined another company. But he was really the evangelist, running around the whole world to promote the NetWeaver cloud platform.
But since the BTP being 10 years and being celebrating its anniversary for 10 years, and being so pervasive in the experience centers, and since I have both managers of experience centers here, what's the experience? How is it going to show in the experience center that the BTP is 10
You
years?
just walk around and you see everywhere, but you see BTP. You know that.
Free cake?
Yeah. But let's have some cakes later in our cafe. So let's see. But maybe Oliver, you brought a lot of cases. Is there one case that you like to identify still in this episode of HANA Café?
Let me think. No, but what I also like is actually the demos that, for example, you have in the experience center. So. There's some nice
To
cases.
answer Jan's question.
Ali, for example, nice thing I like is we have a Rosie. Rosie is a cleaning robot in the iRobot there, who's a vacuum cleaner, which is completely monitored and controlled via sensors. And then when in the demo case, it has a breakdown. Then you can use the iPad with augmented reality to see which part of the robot is not working, is malfunctioning, and then you can repair it. And that's all nice things. They're all built on BTP. And I really like all these things with the digital twins and augmented reality and virtual reality and so on. And Once we were playing with the subgraph. I don't know if you know this one.
Mhm.
It's really nice. We have the unified API. You have the virtual dashboarding which you have, and with the iPad you can walk around and you can add stuff just by clicking on some buttons and then move and putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and you can create your dashboard. So it's really nice.
I think
Yeah,
you're a
all
technology
fits
enthusiast.
I always been.
It all fits together. Huh? And
You
that's,
know, started as an ABAPer, huh?
Yeah.
So you
B-
won't forget it.
BTP is not only the foundation of the intelligent enterprise,
no.
it's probably the most exciting platform that SAP has.
I thought you were going to say it's the foundation of mankind, but
let's not go so far.
It's a new 42.
exactly. What is the answer? BTP. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Goedele, any advice for our viewers from the cafe from your side? Are we invited to your new experience center?
Absolutely, you're all invited to come to our experience center in Brussels, because you get an amazing experience. Really, people who have the experience to showcase everything. As Oliver was saying, we have the showcases, Rosie, we have the SAP graph that we can show. We can show also our vending machine that we developed in our center.
Yep.
But what I would like to stress is that in our experience center, it's all about business processes that we can enhance, that we can transform to bring our customers to that intelligent, and you say also sustainable enterprise, but also the networked enterprise, the intelligent, sustainable, networked enterprise. And it's very important that the business technology platform is actually the foundation to
And
make
the glue.
the glue to make that possible. And Kenneth, I would like to say one thing, because you said, yes, we did a lot of acquisitions and we brought everything together in end-to-end business processes, and now we have SAP Signavio that we can look at the processes, get suggestions, benchmarks, and then optimize them with new solutions or with robotic process automation. But we should not forget also that BTP is opening up to the outside world. It's an open system that helps you to integrate with legacy applications and so on. And so in our experience center, we build a nice showcase in our immersive room where we explain to the audience the business technology platform. That's actually this is how your IT landscape is supported by the business technology platform. And if we look at a lot of companies today, when they look at their IT landscape, they see actually a galaxy, with Earth being the core clean that needs to be there, and then all these other planets for which we have built satellites and space stations, all these tools that we have done in the galaxy to also explore data coming from other planets. We have it also in the business technology platform. And this analogy is a nice analogy to show with an analogy, to say what the business technology platform is.
I like that analogy, Goedele, especially
Let's
since
reframe the question. So all the answers to your SAP questions, BTP.
I can see a person from SAP standing on a chair in an astronaut suit, looking at the stars.
But this is what I tell.
You get what I mean, right?
This is what I tell.
That's what we build. That's what we build.
What we tell to the audience, because actually all the IT people that you have in the experience center, they have a lot of questions. And how do I do that? And with the data and master data and keeping the core clean and sync and all of that. But they are actually the astronauts, and they have the tools with the BTP to make sure that they can realize the business outcomes that the business people and the whole organization is looking for. So
we are all astronauts. Yeah.
We're all
Reaching for the
astronauts.
stars.
Aiming for the stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenneth, some advice from your side to our Dutch viewers, maybe, on how to speed up your cloud transformation?
Well, as I said, I think it's all about business outcomes. So, we talked about so many things during the last several minutes. Nice conversation, by the way. I think it's about really making it tangible. So my recommendation would really to explore the available use cases that will already give a good idea of, and they're also classified by category. If it's more for to enhance or to extend or related to a certain line of business, or it's more of an IT scenario. I mean, you will see it's structured in a comprehensive fashion. So I would really start from the use cases, and then second step is to experience it by yourself, whether it's for a customer or a partner. Go online. There are lots of things that are possible today online. And then, of course, reach out to us once you have a good idea.
Come to the center.
And of course, reach out to us, come to the Experience Center.
In Belgium.
And
or
then that's the next level of customization,
both.
because, of course, what you see online is more generic. But
Voilà.
when you reach out to us, we will customize that to your own.
It's hard to find any SAP enthusiasts these days, right?
Excuse me?
Yeah, all at the table.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much,
Thank
Kenneth.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Goedele.
much.
Thank you,
Pleasure.
Oliver.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jan.
I'm there.
Yeah, always, you're always here.
You're still there.
Because there is no cafe
Every
without
time.
you. There is no
Every
cafe
time
without
you're
you. So it's about the intelligent enterprise. It's about the intelligent sustainable enterprise. It's about the connected intelligent sustainable enterprise. I'm getting difficulties with this one-liner, but as long as it keeps to those words, then maybe I can still remember it. But if in a few years maybe I have more.
You will take
words
45 minutes just to
answer to have this
answer.
one-liner. Thank you very much for joining our cafe today. Thank you very much for watching the cafe. If you have any questions, please reach out to any one of us, or join the cafe somewhere in the future, or join the Experience Center in Brussels, or of course the Experience Center here in the Netherlands in 's-Hertogenbosch. Thank you and see you next time.
Dankjewel voor het luisteren naar deze aflevering van HANA Café Nederland. Heb je feedback voor ons? Laat het dan zeker weten. Wil je ook een keer aanschuiven in het café? Stuur ons een berichtje en geef gelijk aan waar je het over wilt hebben. Tot de volgende keer!